I hold it true, whate'er befall. I feel it when I sorrow most, never to have loved at all. That was Alfred Tennyson, who was born this day, August 1809. Happy birthday, Alfred, wherever you are. Now, down to the business of the night. Welcome to the 46th On the Nail Literary Gala, organised by the Limerick Writers' Centre, supporting arts and culture in Limerick since 2004 through Kerry Publisher of Doghouse Books, whose recent anthology, 10 Years in the Doghouse, features the work of 29 writers. We welcome a selection of writers from the anthology to read now. And to introduce them, we have Mr. Keane. Noel.
Thanks very much. It certainly doesn't seem like 10 years, and you will not find the poems anywhere else. Each of the poets you'll hear tonight, their full solo volumes that were published during the 10 years are also available here tonight. But everything you hear in the book is new work, and generally they have 2 to 3 pieces each. And so to start, I will call on Barbara Smith. Barbara has come down from County Louth. I won't say Dundalk or Drogheda because I can never remember. When I went up to her launch, I arrived in Dundalk and I should have arrived in Drogheda. But anyway, her first collection was in 2007. It was called Kairos, and her second collection in 2011 was The Angel's Share. So to read from the anthology, Barbara Smith.
Thank you very much, Noel, for your kind words, and also thank you very much, Noel, for all the work you put into this. Mighty. My first poem is Giving Advice to Aquarius. This is a poem that was born very much out of the summers, the more normal. Giving advice to Aquarius. This isn't rain. It downspouts and spate. No. It's long fluvial years of buckets and stair rods, torrents and sheets, drizzle, mizzle and smur. Your house is the song of water running, your clothes the drab of fresh lavender, bleached lilacs, stuck up blue lobelias. You'll never be thirsty with a pitcher to hand. You must shoulder the burden well, earn the respite of stillness. Centre your wild wishes to the old cataract, the crack in the earth, the source of the world. It's important that you cannot swim. Indoor rivulets pool in your eyes. All of this water makes you want to cry your fishbowl glasses full, to see through convex waves.
Doghouse collection was in 2012, The Seer of Wounds. So to read his poems from the new book, Mark Whelan, I can't see you in the light. Oh, yeah.
For Dominic's running on the nail and Doghouse's 10th anniversary. This is from a series of poems called Graces. Tonight, there is only one door. Tonight, there is only the heat, cold, and rain falling. Rain ceaselessly falling on the silent litany of the street. Tonight, there is only one recollection of which only one impetuous hope clings to a leafless branch on the empty avenue. Tonight, there is only one sound. It is the sound of a footfall of one neither approaching nor remaining still, neither distant nor near. Tonight, there is room for only one thought, breath enough for only one wand, only one shape into which this present would fade out of view forever. Tonight, there is only one possible beginning, from which there is only one possible end. For tonight, there is only you, and only one threshold to be crossed, of which tomorrow asks only one word. Yes.
The next reader was the winner of this year's single poem in the stall, Karen O'Connor. She's from Mill Street, now living in Tralee. She's had 2 solo collections from Doghouse, Fingerprints and Canvas in 2005 and Between the Lines in 2011, or was it 12? 11. So please welcome Karen O'Connor.
Good evening. It's a me was in business for 10 years at a small press in Kerry. So congratulations to Noel as editor and to everybody at Doghouse for fantastic. This comes with a quotation from Aristotle, and that is, love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies. Anniversary. I share it with the winter solstice and the lunar eclipse, my ancestors waiting through the longest night. I share it with the sub-zero temperatures, the snow, the robin left to freeze. I share it with my daughter, her frozen breath breathing life into her whispered words of Santa. I share it with the moon rising in the evening sky, with the day resting on the ice-covered earth, with the memories it will leave behind. I share it with your people and with mine, with those that see just another day. I share it with the faithful and those that have lost the memory of theirs. I share it with all its flaws and trappings.
Each of the 29 poets who had the solo collections, they all sent in 6 poems, and 3 were selected for the anthology. I didn't select them myself. My co-selectors were Louis Mulcahy and Kevin Griffin, neither of whom are here tonight. Louis sends his regards to everybody. He had a hip operation a few weeks back, and he's on the mend. All his girlfriends in Limerick. The covers by Anne-Marie Glasheen. I'm sure she's done more Doghouse covers than any other artist. She took this little logo, which was made up by Peter Keane in 2003. She took this little logo and incorporated it into the design. So the next reader is Peter Keane. His collection, he was born in Tralee, lived in England for many years, and is back in Kerry since the 70s. And his collection was Both Sides Now in 2004. So Peter Keane.
Hello, good evening. I don't believe in 5-minute introductions to 30-second poems, but I'll just give you poems. But I'll just give you a quick forward. As Noel said, born in Tralee, spent the first 15 years or so of my life there, but I've been back there for the last 39. I only say this because my accent may lead you astray because of the contents of the what I've got, which basically are 3 memories from my youth under the general heading of The Way We Were. I remember the telegram saying, arriving 5 o'clock train. No matter how long the journey was planned or how long the traveller had been expected, it wasn't real until the telegram came. Then came the many walks to the station to ask what time the wet-fueled turf 5 o'clock train was likely to arrive. It's got as far as Mallow. Later it was, it's in Mill Street. But it was, it's just left Killarney that galvanised us or spurred us into action. Grandmother in her shawl, the very image of a red hen, headed for the station surrounded by all her chicks, except for the unfortunate one who was left to watch the fire and boil the kettle for the all-important first cuppa. Excitement among us little ones reached fever pitch when, sometime between 6 and 7, the 5 o'clock train was seen in the distance. Soon we would see again the face of our much-loved aunt or uncle. The next day, it would be like they had never left.
So all the way from Cavan via Dublin. He's from Cavan, but he teaches in Dublin. He's a former board member of Poetry Ireland. And his collection, An Exaltation of Starlings, was published by Doghouse in 2010. So to read his new poems, Tom Conaty.
Poetry can be supported in the cities, but places like the Writers' Centre here, and they don't necessarily get. But thank you to the Writers' Centre for hosting this, and really congratulations on the huge amount of work that you do. And Noel is in the same vein. I know another Noel Moynihan, who encouraged my poetry early on with Windows. The 2 Noels are the most generous poets that I know in the country, both distinguished poets in their own right, but as well as telling their own field, They don't set up huge big boundaries around it. They encourage people in to have a look at what they're doing themselves, and they help them till their own fields. And I am deeply grateful for Noel for publishing my collection, because every poet works for many, many years on poems, and you know, it's always very it's sometimes will you publish or will you not publish. It's, you know, it's a very tender kind of area. So I thank Noel for all of the support that he has given to all of the poets, and particularly to me. I don't know whether I'm involved in education. I don't know whether I was a remedial poet or not, but I spent, I think, 14 hours with him in Tralee in a hotel going through my collection. He was looking at commas and colons, and I don't know if anybody else had that experience, but he certainly went through it with me. So thank you again, Noel. The poems that I have, it's called Empty Dwellings, and it's in two parts, Vacant Lot and Intestines. And being from Cavan, I'm familiar with some of the big developers in the country. There's a nursing home not too far from Sean Quinn's Sleeve Russell Hotel, which was one of the big ideas around Cavan at the time, that you could build nursing homes, but it never particularly got off the ground, and it was called Daisy Hill, and it had gone into such disrepair that the H dropped and it became Daisy Hill. And I spent some time in there just looking at what was inside that empty place. And whilst the ghost estate has been something that has been coined, sometimes it glosses over what is actually inside. So this is something of trying to look at what was inside those empty dwellings. Empty dwellings, 1, vacant lot. Title deeds to a gavel, coming down on going, gone. 45 acres of real estate, post-like, ghost-like, intestate, no will in the world to live. They promised the melodies of songbirds, larks ascending and all that jazz. A hoarding lies sideways on a heap. An east wind scours, whips at the gloss, rain washes big words away. Crow from his crow's nest surveys the vacant lot, reads between the lines, the cause and the effect not lost on him. Houses don't light, the village seems remote. A show house still in full dressage, draperies of doilies, velvety curtains, fol-de-das. 2, intestines. A JCB hangs its head to the ground. The mixer's mouth is frozen. Dried mortar chokes the gills. No engine putters to a start. No saw sisses through wood grain. The claw hammer loses its grip. Hedges grow higher. Verges greener. Rain finds its own way to the watercourse. Houses, avenue and crescent their way to incompleteness. The grey pallor fixes for the need of sun, and black ties between inner and outer blocks, heavy with mortar, bring the dampness in. No headgear on the dwellings, save black felt scarves, 2x1 hairpin laths, holding the whole thing down. Inside, a hot press, immersed in news of hot and cold feeds, unconnected. Allen keys, bleeding the system dry. Funiculus of wires hang, intestines like rainbows, cascading from a wall, charged for a fuse board that hasn't arrived. Trip switch names for inside rooms fade and blur. Birds lattice chimney pots with the makings of nests, and chimney breasts have lost the heart for fire. With shell and cavity, the wind plays a hollow tune, then dies down. An architrave of silence hangs on the herringbone roofs. A gable end looks out on unworked fields, crochet of fallen wheat, and the stalk of the eyes in corn. Thank you.
welcome. In the shops, this book will cost you €12, but there's a massive special offer tonight, actually half price. So you can actually get copies for €6. And none of the poems in here are available anywhere else. Each of the poets, their solo collections that came out over the last 10 years are also available, and you can get 3 of those for €20. So thank you very much for your attention. And Friday is the closing date for Revival 27, but I'm also the poetry editor, so don't forget, if you haven't sent your submission in yet, send it in before Friday. Thank you very much.